And the doubleheader game, the Cardinals and the Washington Redskins. And that is annually one of the highlights of the year. All coming your way next Sunday afternoon on CBS. Another big doubleheader.
And I really think we talked about a poignant point, and that was the fact that if the Cardinals happened to lose this game being 0-2 and then facing Washington and Dallas in order, when there's only 14 games in a regular season, you can be out of it in a big hurry. They have to win this game.
I don't know, would you say here the Bears have to score on this particular drive? It sure make it interesting if they did.
Yes, they do.
They have the ball, 1st and 10 on the Cardinal 41 following the turnover. And Avellini going to throw it. He has his man. He's got Scott for the first down. At least he had the first down, and he started to curl back. I think he's still got it up. Pickup of 11 yards on the play and a first down at the 29-yard line.
And you're going to see Tim Carney get really upset. Good pass blocking by the Bears. They hold the backs in, and Scott makes the grab, and you're going to see Tim Carney come over here, and then there's some contact there. Boom. Payton and Carney.
That's a first down for the Bears at the 29-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. They trail by a score of 16-3, but a touchdown here, and they are right back in it. We're still in the third period with 2:20 to go. Avellini waits, has Latta at the 10-yard line, and Latta stepped out of bounds, they say, at the 7. Latta went out of bounds at the 7-yard line. No touchdown. Ken Reeves, number 36, on defense.
Okay, Harper's out. Payton has to block on the blitz coming up. Nice pass by Avellini. And then you're going to see Ken Reeves is going to make a desperation leap to push him out of bounds here. He does the only thing that he can do at this point, tries to get his foot to hit that line, and it looks like it's on the line right there. Right there, a good call by the official. And Reeves really did the job on that one. He was beat on the play, but he saved the touchdown.
First down, goal to go for the Chicago Bears at the Cardinals 7. Harper to the 5-yard line for a pickup of 2. Cardinal fans now exhorting that goal line defense. Just over 2 minutes left to play in the third period. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 5. Jankowski and Dawson collaborating on the stop. Next play coming in from John Gilliam from the bench. Here's a tight game for you. Lions and the Saints. That's a fourth period score. All right, 2nd down, goal to go. Cincinnati and Seattle in a track meet. Bengals look like they have control, however. Payton. Which way is he going to go? Uh-oh. Loss on the play back to the 11 or 12-yard line. 6 or 7 yards.
And sometimes it happens to a great runner. Actually, Walter had the chance to cut himself up on that play, but his instinct told him no, and it turned out to backfire for him. As you're going to see Walter here, you watch Reeve Sawyer, 69, and if he could have cut right there and shot up, but he waited and he waited, he saw a man, and instead of gaining 3, maybe just a couple or 3 yards, he's going to end up with a big loss. But that will happen sometimes to a great runner who can do so much for you. This time it backfired. What will the Cardinals do now? Will they try a blitz down this close to their goal line because they know that the Bears are going to throw the ball, or will they drop everybody off?
From the 12-yard line, 3rd and goal to go. Avellini throws it over the head of everybody. The Bears are sending the field goal unit on.
The Cardinals did not blitz. They sent their regular rush, dropped everybody off. Greg Latta had 5 guys around him.
Avellini may have hurried that a little bit. Figured he might have a little more time. So the field goal unit is on with Bob Thomas, and rather than come up completely dry, Chicago's going to see if it can get 3 out of this turnover. 55 seconds left to go in the third period. Ball will be placed down at the 20, so this will be a 30-yard field goal attempt. It's good. So for the second time this afternoon, Bob Thomas connects on the field goal, and that makes it a 16-6 ball game with less than a minute to go in the third period at Busch Memorial Stadium in St. Louis.
Well,
I think we've had a field goal missed yet, have we, by anybody?
No, I don't think
got
so.
3 out of 3. Thomas 2 out of 2. Once again, a reminder about that big sports spectacular show on CBS coming up next Saturday. The world's strongest men competition. You are not entered.
No, neither are you.
No, you can say that again. But I don't know how much names mean to you in this area. People like Mike Dayton, Lou Ferrino, who appeared in Pumping Iron, George Friend.
Bob Young of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, Ken Patera. Lots of folks. And then, of course, the big horse race. Don't forget about that from Belmont. That's the 5th running of the Cup.
And don't forget motocross. That's a big sport in Europe and getting bigger and bigger in the United States. You ever tried it?
No, but I've seen it, and they do some amazing things when they take a stadium like the LA Coliseum and make it over into a motocross field. It's absolutely fantastic. You can watch it all on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday afternoon at 4:30 Eastern Time. Metcalf fielding Thomas, kickoff at the 5. Back to the 20. Up to the 28, and we got a marker thrown across the field. Penalty marker down. And one of the Bears getting up rather slowly.
Johnny Musso.
23 yards on the kickoff return. The walk-off will go against St. Louis. Get the call here from Jim Tunney.
Personal foul. Tipping. Number 50. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Kurt Allerman guilty of the personal foul. This is a final score. Cincinnati and Seattle in a wide-open offensive battle. That was in Cincinnati. Boy, they put 62 points on the board. Last week it was all defense. We had 5 shutouts in the league last week. It's an amazing figure. Half the distance to the goal moves it back to the 13. That's where the Cardinals start this drive. Otis trying to get outside. Lost the ball after he was bumped out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. Good defense by Doug Buffone. And Otis was shaken up.
You said it, Frank. You get the credit. It was Doug Buffone. Did very well. Playing off Jerry Latin, forced the play wide, and cut the gain down to substantially zip. They didn't get much out of that, did they?
No. Got back to about the line of scrimmage, and that was it. So Otis being attended to. He's off the field, and Terry Metcalf has come in to replace him. Cardinals lost to Denver last week. That was their first opening loss since 1971.
The Bears have 5 defensive backs in now and 2 linebackers.
Second down. Still 10 needed for the first down. Metcalf trying to get outside, swings it back upfield across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Pickup of 7. It'll be 3rd and 3. Virgil Livers making the stop up from the secondary.
I think that 3rd and 3 is one of the most interesting calls in professional football because it's at that point where do you try and run for it? Can you get those 3 yards, or do you risk the pass? Should it be the short pass or go for the... It's just an interesting call. 3rd and 3.
Harris to the left side. Mel Gray to the right. Hart, who is 15 out of 18. There's the gun. So that's it as far as the 3rd period is concerned here at Busch Memorial Stadium. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The St. Louis Cardinals 16 and the Chicago Bears 6.
Lenny loses his cool when his apartment catches fire in the riotous premiere of Busting Loose, Wednesday night on CBS.
Third and 3.
It's the first time he's come in? First time he's come in? The scene, Bush Memorial Stadium in the shadow of St. Louis' famous Gateway Arch. As we're about to head into the final period of play, and when we left you, you might recall, it was 3rd down and 3 yards needed for the first down. What's that smile on your face there, Johnny Morris?
No smile. I'm thinking, trying to figure out what call they're going to come up with on this 3rd and 3.
Is that what that's what you were thinking about, huh? All right. Well, you're a better man than I, if that's what you were thinking about. 3rd down, 3 for the Cardinals at the 21-yard line. St. Louis' own end of the field. Jim Hart. Receiver fell down. Mel Gray was the intended receiver, and he lost his footing, so he never had a chance to get to it. And Terry Joyce is going to get some work for the first time this afternoon, the Cardinal punter.
And the Bears came with everybody but the kitchen sink on that one. They blitzed Buffon and Bryant. Everybody came up the middle. The Cardinals picked it up, but still could not complete the pass.
Steve Schubert drops back for the Bears. Keep in mind, he ran one back for 70 and a touchdown against Detroit last week. Bears just got super play out of their specialty teams against the Lions. They haven't done badly this afternoon as well. Terry Joyce, who ranked number 2 in the NFC punting statistics coming into this game, his first punt of the afternoon coming here in the 4th period. Bears have 10 men on the line of scrimmage, but they peel back quickly. High kick and very short. Schubert going to let it bounce at the 50. It takes a Cardinal hop inside the 45 and is down at the 41-yard line of Chicago. So Joyce kicks it high but doesn't kick it far. The Bears come up with fairly decent field position as they start this next drive.
I drive a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they're built tough. Right, Daddy?
Right, and I bought a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they were built tough. Right, Daddy?
Yep, and I drive a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they were built tough. Right, Daddy?
That's right, yeah. My daddy came to Texas in a covered wagon. I had to learn about Fords on my own. I'm a smart old bird, ain't I?
Of all Ford trucks registered over the last 12 years, 93 out of 100 are still on the job. Now try and forget the 10th largest life insurance company in America, Lincoln National Life. We're easy to remember.
Is it a fling or the real thing? Julie falls for an older man on the season premiere of One Day at a Time, Tuesday following MASH.
Frank Lieber with Johnny Morris at Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis. As we head back to play, the Bears have the football. They have a 1st and 10 at their 41. And they trail the Cardinals 16-6. And a touchdown here, of course, could put them within field goal range of tying this game up. We're just 15 seconds deep into the final quarter. They go to James Scott at the 50, and Scott carries to the 47-yard line. That's good for a first down if everything's in order. Good for 12 yards.
A simple, quick turnout by Scott. Perry Smith covering. He's playing off. He doesn't want him behind him. He goes down about 6 yards, turns, and the ball is there. And then he gets a chance to turn his body around before the defender can come up, which gives him a chance to get a few extra yards. The key is if you can catch that ball, get your body turned around and face the defender, then you got more chance to get extra yardage.
Avellini is now 11 out of 19 for 121 yards. Here's Harper breaking for another first down and then some as he carries to the 30-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals, and Harper is fired up.
And have you noticed the de-emphasis on Peyton the last quarter or so? Beautiful hole. Peyton was strictly a decoy as Harper just carried it up, got the big yardage, but Peyton has not been used that much. I don't know if he's been hurt or they're going to go with him more as a decoy, but he has not been used that much. We'll see if it's a part of the strategy.
Peyton has just 28 yards rushing through the first 3 periods of the game from the 29-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. Not much there. A little wrestling match going on there. Dennis Lickenbaugh, number 70, along with Bob Bell.
Now the play's being brought in by number 85, Steve Schubert, and it takes him a while to give the play to Avellini. And then by the time he calls the play, 4 or 5 seconds. Here's a little wrestling match. Here's 2 minutes should be in the World Strongman competition.
Absolutely.
Down goes Lick. He lost that one.
Second down 8 for the Bears at the 27-yard line of the Cardinals. And we get flags prior to the snap.
It'll go against the Bears, I'm sure.
That's a tough time for a penalty. It looked like Greg Latta, the tight end, jumped. And that will cost the Bears 5 instead of 2nd and 8. They're going to look at 2nd and 13. Bob Avellini, who has a record of 10 wins and 9 losses since becoming the Bears regular quarterback in 1975. They were 4 and 15 before he took over. Jim Tunney sounds like he's in an echo chamber sometimes, and he relays those officials' calls.
He is down there on that football field with 50,000 fans around you.
Second down 13. Bears at the Cardinal 32. Avellini. Protection is good. It's Harper at the 25-yard line, and then he's shoved back by Steve Niels, number 53, the Cardinal linebacker. Harper has had a very, very active afternoon. He runs well, obviously, particularly for a 17th round draft choice, which he was from Louisiana Tech back in 1975. He runs well for a 1st or 2nd round draft choice. Third down 7. Bears at the Cardinal 25. Another big play facing the Cardinal defense. They don't pick up the first down, or they're looking at a 40-yard plus field goal attempt by Thomas.
They got Scott one-on-one over here.
They've got it, rather, at the 15-yard line. First down, Bears. Roger Worley making the stop. He's one of the best in the league, but Rather went up and cradled that thing. He wanted to make sure he wasn't about to drop it, so it's a first down at the 15-yard line for the Chicago Bears.
The Bears have a situation with 3 wide receivers going downfield. As you see, the pass blocking delayed safety blitz, but the Bears get the ball off, and that meant man for man by everybody down there, and Worley had to cover Rather man for man, and they have 3 wide receivers downfield. But it was a very much of a delayed safety blitz by the Cardinals that didn't get there in time.
They've got Scott in there. They've now got Schubert in there at a wide receiver. Here's Payton, tripped up behind the line. Submarining through was Ron Jankowski, number 78, to trip the Bear running star for a loss.
Let's take a look at Walter. First time with his hands on the ball for quite a while, and Jankowski gets across the line and makes the play. Ron Jankowski, a man who's done a good job for the Cardinals, played one defensive end, then switched to another, and has been kind of moved around. And when he gets in there, he does the job.
Loss of 3. It'll be second down 13. Bears are at the 18-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals, driving for the touchdown that could put them within field goal range. Avellini. Payton going high to bring that one down. Tackled near the 10-yard line. He needs to reach the 5 to get to the first down, so it'll be third down and 5 needed for the first. Had to reach a little bit for that one, John.
Yes, he made a nice grab. The wide receivers went downfield to clear the zone, and actually if the pass hadn't been high, he might have had a little more chance to run with the ball, but he's had to gain control of himself and is finally knocked down. So here's a critical play, 3rd and 5.
All right, Avellini's got Scott to the left side. He's got number 85, Steve Schubert, split to the right. Sideline throw to Latta. He's got the first down. He's got the touchdown. Spike that time, courtesy of Reeve Sori.
Yes, the Bear linemen get to spike it, not the receivers. I thought this was going to be intercepted for a second. Watch the play. As Avellini goes back, you'll see the linebacker coming over, number 53 and number 45, Reeves. Not Reeves, it's Perry Smith, I should say. And the ball was thrown on a line, but Smith just couldn't get there in time, and Latta stayed inbounds, then hands off to his lineman who gets to spike the ball. That's the receivers and the running backs' way of saying thank you to the lineman for blocking.
Extra point by Bob Thomas is good, and we've got ourselves a football game. 10 minutes, 4 seconds left to play, and the Cardinals lead the Bears by 3.
Inside this new Firestone radial tire is an improved steel cord with 5 million miles of developmental testing. Where once we used 5 strands, we now use 10 strands of steel. 7 around 2, wrapped by 1. A cord construction so important, Firestone named the tire for it. 7, 2, 1. The new steel-belted radial 721. Now, from Firestone.
The Quintrix 2-color picture tube from Panasonic brings you a very lifelike picture. Because Quintrix 2 is our inline picture tube with an extra pre-focus lens that concentrates and focuses the electron beam to bring you Panasonic's sharpest picture ever. So lifelike, you may even feel you're part of the picture. Quintrix 2, one more reason Panasonic is just slightly ahead of our time.
Back once again at Busch Memorial Stadium where things are going to get interesting now. That drive by the Bears, 59 yards. It took them 8 plays to get in. And keep in mind, the touchdown came on a big 3rd down and 5 play. They not only got the first down, but the touchdown as well.
And if I were the Bears, I certainly wouldn't kick it to Terry Metcalf. They would be better off to kick some kind of a squib or to one side or the other because they now have a ball game. It's not a new ball game, but it's close. Metcalf's the kind of play that could really burn him, so they are going to kick to him, though. No? Yes.
Yes. Metcalf at the 5, stepping in front of Nelson at the 20, 25, and across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Let's quickly check some other scores for you. We haven't done that for a while. This is final. Washington beat Atlanta 10-6, and the Redskins are 1-1 in the season. Detroit now 1-1, handing the Saints their 2nd straight loss. 3rd period score. Dallas really pouring it on against the Giants, 34-14. They were up at one point, I think, 28-0. That's also a 3rd quarter score. Packers and the Oilers. And another 3rd quarter score. San Diego leading Kansas City. Our score 16-13. The Cardinals leading by 3. They have the ball. And a first down at their 36-yard line. Still a lot of time left. Hart dialing his big tight end, J.V. Kane. Now, number 88 is getting very prominent in this game on both sides. Both of the tight ends. Latta, number 88 for Chicago, and in this case, Kane.
And I'll tell you, it's a great thing to see a team, the way things have been going here. Hart, just a precision pass. He does the quick post, and it's in there. But a lot of teams would have tried to run the ball, try to, run out of first down and eat the clock down. The Cardinals first down, boom, went after the pass.
Hart is 16 out of 20 for 197 yards. First down from the Bear 46-yard line. They go with the rush up the middle with the big guy, Otis. Carries to the 42. Pickup of 3, perhaps 4 yards in the play. Craig Clemens, number 43, making the stop. Let's call it 2nd down 6. 8 minutes, 55 seconds left to play in the game. Cardinals have never trailed, though the Bears did tie them at 3-all. Harris splitting out wide to the left at the bottom of your screen. Latin trying to cut back inside. He does successfully and navigates to the 37-yard line. That'll be very close for another first down as Gary Fensick makes the stop. Well, we've got a lot of good running backs in the field today.
They ran away from all the traffic there in the middle, and watch, I hope we can see Dierdorf's block, but Latin cuts back behind it. You see Dierdorf, 72, through his block, kicked his man out, and Latin cut back across the grain. Finally, Fensick brings him down. Dierdorf is number 72, the right tackle, as he pulls. There's his block on Buffon, stays with him, pushes him, and gets his block, allowing Latin to cut back.
3rd down, less than a yard for the Cardinals at the 37-yard line of the Bears. They give it to Otis, and Otis crunches through. Looked like his forward progress was enough to net him the first down at the 36. Let's see if it's even close enough for measurement.
He made it, I believe.
Jim Tunney apparently wants to check. So he's going to ask the change to come in for the first time. Look at these passing stats. Jim Hart. And in that string, 12 consecutive completions, a new Cardinal team record. First down. You know, it was something like 8 years ago, next Wednesday. The Cardinals beat the Bears, and a young rookie quarterback by the name of Jim Hart came off the bench, was 3 for 3 in a St. Louis scoring drive. He took over from Charlie Johnson shortly thereafter and has been the Cardinal quarterback ever since. First and 10 from the 36-yard line of the Chicago Bears. Cardinals leading by 3. Bears defense trying to shut them down. Otis. Wayman Bryant, number 50. Bryant started his Bear career as a middle linebacker, but apparently they thought he'd be a lot more effective on the outside.
Bryant stayed at home very well that time because Otis had the right idea. It was jammed up and he was going to cut back across. He could have gotten some big yardage if number 50, Wayman Bryant, hadn't held his ground there and picked him up coming back.
Got a yard, second down 9 from the 35. 6 minutes, 55 seconds left to play in the game. Cardinals 16, Bears 13. Hart. Intercepted. And the Bears stop that drive with another big turnover, and that makes things even more interesting. Number 48 for the Chicago Bears is Allen Ellis. And he comes up with a big play, as did Bryant a little while ago when he recovered that fumble.
This time not enough zing on the ball. There's pressure by Osborne, is almost there, and Hart has to throw off balance. Not enough zip on the ball. Ellis smelled it coming, got the interception. The Bears have a chance to take the lead.
Cold night, Bob. Did you put in the Presto antifreeze?
Presto, Presto. Who needs Presto?
Prestone. You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone! We need Prestone!
Prestone. You need Prestone.
Europe's most successful new car in history comes to America. Introducing Fiesta, now imported from Germany by Ford. Fiesta, 0 to 50 in an average of 8.8 seconds. Road gripping Michelin radial tires. The traction of front-wheel drive and excellent gasoline economy. Fiesta, Europe's most successful new car in history. Test drive one at your authorized Ford dealer now.
Young man who had 6 interceptions last year and didn't allow but 1 touchdown pass all season long. Allen Ellis with the big interception. Looks like he may have hurt his hand.
Getting taped up a little bit. Allen is really one of the unsung heroes of the Chicago Bears. Some teams know, though, because they don't even throw on him most of the time. The Cardinals have tested him a few times, but he came up with a big one for Chicago on that one.
Now the young Bears are making it interesting. They're moving from their own 25. Here's Avellini throwing on the run, and he had a man wide open if he could have got it to James Scott at the 40-yard line. The busted play, but Avellini running to his left for a right-handed guy. That's just a wee bit tough. Put much on it.
Yes, you can't get any zip on it. Running left, throwing right. It's very difficult. Unless you can stop and set yourself, and he didn't have time to do that. Play coming in from Schubert.
15 out of 24 for 155 yards. Well, the Giants are coming on a little bit. Going to make it interesting for the Cowboys, looks like. That's a third period score, so they still got a lot of time left in that game. Here's Payton at the 30. Look at him fight for yardage. He will be close for a first down at the 35-yard line, and one of the Cardinal defenders is shaken up on the play. Tim Carney. A lot of individual drive on this play.
Yes, Tim Carney had a shot at him and could have stopped him, but Payton shook that one off. Watch 56 at the top of your screen. He comes through right there, makes the hit on Payton. Payton just gave him that little leg dip, gets out of it, and gets the extra yards right here as he squeezes away. Does a great job, gets away from Charlie Davis. Finally, Sensabaugh drags him, and he's stopped, but it took a host of Cardinals. And what a difference it made because he got the first down. Most backs would have been down way before that.
First and 10 after the 10-yard pickup. Ooh. Harper. Or was he hit or was he hit? That was Carney again, number 56.
And Tim Carney is very upset, number 56. He's yelling to the sideline saying we've got to make some adjustments here or something. Marv Kellum came into the ball game for St. Louis.
Noah Jackson, number 30 or 65, offensive lineman of the Bears, limping back into the huddle. Pickup of a yard, 2nd down 9. They've held Peyton in check pretty well. Of course, he's been a marked man, as he will be all season long after the number he did on the Lions. Schubert wide to the right side. Scott is flanked to the left. Bears 2nd and 9 from their 36. They trail by 3. Just floats it out for Peyton and tipped away by Carney at the last minute. And Peyton just flails the air kicking because he felt that had touchdown written all over him. That had been 6 inches higher.
A regular 4-man rush. The Bears hold him out. Avellini throws the ball very well. It was just a great play by Carney. One-handed. He deflects it. Peyton thought it was in his hands. He said it was there. There it is. Just like J.B. Kane got one hand up, but he batted it away. It could have made the difference in this ball game. Now it's 3rd and 9. The Bears have got to get this first down.
4 minutes, 59 seconds left to play as the sun breaks through the clouds once again at Busch Stadium. 3rd down 9. Last time the Bears had a 3rd and 5, and they came up with a touchdown pass. All right, Avellini goes to Latta, the tight end, and Latta is caught by Ken Reeves behind the line of scrimmage at the 30-yard line. Reeves, number 36, wily veteran defender of the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Bears will be punting.
Well, that was a screen with the tight end on 3rd and 9. You got the guy catching the pass behind the line of scrimmage. Sometimes it's tough to get 9 yards out of that kind of a play.
Parsons to do the punting. He has averaged better than 50 yards a kick. And the deep man, Pat Tilley, number 83. Again, the Cardinals playing return all the way. Nice high kick and the fair catch. Signal for and pulled down by Tilley at the 33-yard line of the St. Louis Cardinals. So the Cards will put it in play from there with 4 minutes and 9 seconds left to play in the game.
We have assembled here a most congenial group brought together by the love for a truly great beer. Right, group?
Right.
It's light beer from Miller. Right, group?
Right.
They think the best thing about it is it's less filling. It has 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. Right, group?
Right. Wrong. The best thing about it, it tastes great.
No, Horny, it's less filling.
That's Horny.
Says me.
Hey, take it from me. It tastes great. Who are you? You won't think this fight is no joke when you come to and your nose is broke.
No wonder you don't get no respect. I tell you, I don't deserve no respect.
You still don't know nothing about beer.
I thought I threw you out of this sport last year. I feel very strongly both ways. I never argue.
Hi, Mickey.
Hi, doll.
What's a nice guy like you doing in a fight like this?
Waiting for you, doll.
I still don't know why they wanted me to do this commercial.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
Well, there's the brain trust at work. Jack Party of the Bears on the left and Don Coryell of the Cardinals on the right as we wind down last 4 minutes and 9 seconds.
You got to give Jack Party and the Bears a lot of credit. They were down 16-3 in this game and apparently out of it, and they fought back and still have a chance. We'll see how the Cardinals can control the ball now. 4 minutes. Can they eat up the clock?
Cardinals hurt a bit by turnovers here in the second half. An interception of Hart and a fumble by Metcalf. Here's Otis. Coryell may have given him the word, let's stay on the ground, see if we can run that clock down a bit. Don Reeves, number 57 on the stop. Here's one of the best pass rushers in the NFL who hasn't played, John Zook, who's been bothered by a knee here the last few weeks.
They had hoped that he might be able to play quite a bit today, but it hasn't worked out that way.
2nd down, 8. Cardinals at their 35. Clock rolling with 3.5 minutes to go. Bears faking the safety blitz.
What was that? Take me out. The safety blitz is what messed him up. Fensick, number 45, came up, and they smelled the blitz. I think Hart was going to hand off to Otis, and he decided against it because he thought Fensick might be there, 45, when he handed off and caused a fumble. So here comes Fensick, who was blocked out. Well, oh, boy.
Third down, 6. Cardinals at their 37-yard line. Cardinals have lost Bob Young, one of their offensive linemen, with a broken hand. It's the word we get from downstairs. Here's Hart on the big third down play, trying to reach Ike Harris, and good defense by the Bears' Virgil Livers. Number 24, who knocked it away. And St. Louis will give it back with 2 minutes and 46 seconds left to play.
Well, they only ate up about 19 seconds with that series of downs, so they didn't do a very good job of eating the clock up. The Bears still have plenty of time.
Hart is 16 out of 22, 245 yards.
I'm sorry, I think I said 19, a minute and 19 seconds they did eat up.
Still gives the Bears a lot of time. They trail by 3. Joyce is only his second punt of the afternoon. Bears have 10 mid, high snap. But he gets it down all right, gets the kick away. But again, it is a relatively short kick, bouncing at the 30-yard line. Takes a Cardinal roll to the 27 of the Bears, and Chicago will put it in play from there. The Cardinals have had some problems with snapping because their regular snapper has missed several games because of an injury, so they've been doing some substituting in there. Again, a reminder about that CBS Sports Spectacular special show, the first in the series of World's Strongest Men competition. That'll be upcoming next Saturday, along with the fine horse race from Belmont, the 5th running of the Cup, $250,000 for 3-year-olds and up in the Super Bowl of motocross from the LA Coliseum. 1st and 10. Chicago from its 26-yard line. Avellini fighting the clock now with 2.5 minutes to go. Has Harper at the 29. He lost it. Cardinals recover. I believe it's going to be, let's see, nope. They now rule it an incompleted forward pass. We got a delayed call there from the official. And I think he's ruling it incomplete.
Well, that was a questionable call. We'll have to take a look and see. It did appear that he had possession of the ball when Niels hit him, and he really hit him to jar it loose. But we'll take a look here.
Incomplete.
Oh, he had possession. A nice hit by Niels, and the Cardinals recovered, but that's an official's judgment. That just happened to be wrong judgment on this time. And
well, you could see he not only caught it, but he tucked it in and turned upfield.
He had tucked it in and turned his body to go upfield, and that's how you make the judgment.
So that brings a deluge of boos from above as the Bears get a big break. 2nd down, 10 at their 27-yard line. Scott wide to the right side. Steve Schubert set in the slot inside of him. Avellini under pressure, trying to get it out to Harper. Looked like the same type of play. All right, you want to make up your mind on that drop pass? Take a look at it again, see what you think.
Good blocking. Watch 34. Payton doesn't have to block anybody because nobody got through. Now here's Harper. He grabs it, will tuck it in and turn his body for the hit, and then the ball is jarred loose. I don't think there's any question. It's just that we're seeing it in slow motion, and sometimes it is difficult. Boom, boom. The official has to make the judgment right then when it happened. But the Bears still have the ball, and that's what counts right now.
3rd down, 10. They've got their backs to the wall at their 27-yard line with 2 minutes and 23 seconds left to play in the game. Payton and Harper, the setbacks. Avellini under pressure. Fires over the middle, intended for Scott, and he couldn't reach him. So the Cardinal defense rises to the occasion. Jeff Severson covering, and the standing ovation now for the Cardinal defenders as they leave the field, as the Bears will be forced to punt. Or they give it up here, they may never see it again.
2 minutes and 18 seconds to go. I think they still have all their timeouts.
Well, the Cardinals going to call one here. So we are not yet at the official 2-minute warning. There's 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to play. And the Cardinals use the first of their 3 allotted timeouts to stop the clock.
This Tim Carney is the guy that impresses me. He is something else, isn't he? He's all over the place. He's a feisty guy. Keeps the defense, keeps the daubers up, I guess.
And he's been around. You know, he came up with Dallas originally, as memory serves me correctly, a medium-round draft choice. He was cut before the season started. Then Kansas City picked him up, and I think they let him go to to Tampa in the veterans draft, and then Tampa, you know, as much trouble as they have, he couldn't do the job enough to satisfy John McKay, so they let him move on. And now here he is in St. Louis, and he has been all over the lot.
Well, there's a little pressure on Pat Tilley back there to field his punt. And if there's any question at all, he'll probably fair catch instead of trying to run with the ball, because the St. Louis really wants possession now. But fair catches aren't always that easy either.
Well, they're going to fake it and throw it. Harper, short of the first down at the 34-yard line. He needed 10. He picked up 7. And the Cardinals will take over.
Well, the Bears went for broke on that one. And the pass just was complete, but just not far enough downfield. Here's Bob Parsons, takes the snap, starts on his fake, and throws to Harper. Good, alert defense by the Cardinals.
They were all over him.
And he had no chance. He had 3 Cardinals there, and he was still 3 yards away from the first down.
First down at the 34-yard line of the Bears.
Brad Oates made the big tackle.
2 minutes, 12 seconds left to play in the game. Otis wrestled down by Doug Buffone before he gets to the line of scrimmage. That will run the clock down to the 2-minute warning. Otis has picked up 63 yards in 19 carries. All right, the official 2-minute warning going to both benches. There's our score, Cardinals by 3. And we'll be back in St. Louis in just a moment.
Come on, old trademark. Time for your walk. Where will you take me? Sure wish you could talk. I know what you'd tell me. How your family began with the same Levi's blue jeans worn by this man. Hey, here comes more Levi's, red, yellow, and blue. Freewheeling kiddos are wearing them, too. And what a surprise. Look who's been window shopping for clothes. Yeah, a gal in her Levi's instinctively knows of your special appeal. Enough of this kissing little registered mark. Time that we meet some guys by the park. Dressed in your newest edition. Sums it up right there. Levi's Sportswear. Hey, trademark. This looks like the place where tomorrows begin. Your family's future. Sure looks like it should. That's right, little trademark. Levi's don't have to be blue. Just have to be good.
Frank Lieber with Johnny Morris back at Busch Memorial Stadium. Final 2 minutes of action, which has been a pretty good football game. Hard hitting, tight. Cardinals for a while looked like they had assumed control, but the Bears wouldn't let them get away, and they've hung in there tough. When we head back to play, the Cardinals will own it. 2nd down and 11 from the Bear 35-yard line after the Bears failed on that fake punt try. And the Cardinals will try to run that clock down some more. By the way, O.J. Simpson, we had word. O.J.'s wife had a baby girl last night. Our producer today, Bob Rowe, and our director, Jim Silman, and some of the other folks who have helped bring this telecast to you this afternoon from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. All right, here we go. 2nd and 11. Cardinals trying to run it down here from the Bear 35-yard line. Safety blitz working again. Latin on the carry, breaks through the first wave of tacklers and reaches the 32 for a pickup of 4. And let's see if the Bears call time here to stop the clock. Mike Hartenstein coming up to make the stop. Latin is rather elusive. I mean, he gets by that first wave. You don't think he's going to get by the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden he squirts through like right there and turns what looked like no gain into a 5 or 6 yard play. It'll be 3rd down 7 when we get back to play with the ball now at the 31-yard line. Let's take a look at some of these statistics for you. Hart, 16 out of 22 for 215 yards. 1 touchdown and 1 interception. In the reception department, Mel Gray has caught 5 for 95. Kane has caught 5 for 55, including as spectacular a touchdown grab as you will see all year. Gray, by catching at least 1 pass this afternoon, keeps his string alive. He has now caught passes in 52 consecutive games. Jack Pardee trying to figure out how his Bears can get that football back. Leading rusher for the Cardinals, Otis, 19 carries for 62 yards. And I guess the big story defensively has been the job the Cardinals have done on Walter Payton. They've held him to 11 carries and 36 yards. Avellini has thrown 29 times. That's in sharp contrast to last week when he had to throw just 9 times. Completed 16 out of 29 for 147 yards. Had 1 interception. Back to play we go with 1:52 remaining. 3rd down 7. Cardinals at the 31 of the Chicago Bears. And Hart's going to put it up. Sideline throw, intercepted. That's Ellis who made the interception at the 28-yard line. Well, that's the one thing, obviously, the Cardinals didn't want to happen. And Ellis comes up with his 2nd interception of the ball game. And there is life for the Chicago Bears yet. With 1:46 to go. Boy, he's got his number, doesn't he, this afternoon? On 3rd down, he puts it up. Sideline throw, and Ellis stepping in front of the intended receiver, who is Ike Harris, and Harris makes the tackle on him. All right, here come the Bears now for what may be their final effort of the afternoon. 1st and 10 from the 28. Avellini, sideline throw to Rather. He may have come down out of bounds. And Rather is hot because he came down out of bounds. The pass is incomplete. Noah Jackson can't believe it, number 65. That'll set up 2nd and 10. That's the timeout situation. The Bears have a couple left. Ball is at the Chicago 27. They need 3 to tie to send it into sudden death or a touchdown to win. Scott wide to the right side. He's got Schubert split to the left. Avellini looking long, going down for Greg Latta. Overthrown and intercepted by Worley. Roger Worley is back on the 15-yard line. And the Cardinals get it back. Well, Avellini threw it up for grabs. He was just hoping and praying that somehow Latta could run underneath it, but it was far overthrown. Protection was good. He pumped it once and just let it fly, and Latta pumped it as hard as he could, but it was far over his head, and the all-pro defender of the St. Louis Cardinals, Roger Worley, makes the interception. And the Cardinals will take over at their 15-yard line. Still 1:29 to go. Each team with 2 timeouts left. I guarantee you one thing, Hart is not going to throw it in the direction of Allen Ellis. I doubt seriously if he's going to throw it at all. Otis got a yard to the 16. It'll be 2nd and 9. Bears call time, so that leaves him with 1. Otis was held to 34 yards last week in Denver, but he's got 63 rushing here unofficially this afternoon.
Cold night, Bob. Did you put in the Presto antifreeze?
Presto. Who needs Presto?
Prestone. You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone! We need Prestone!
Prestone. You need Prestone.
I've got enough to worry about. My roses, my back, weeds. When it comes to my money,
I let someone else help me do the worrying. Ben here, my IDS representative. He worries about planning for my future. And that means not just life insurance, but investments and savings, too.
IDS, not just insurance, not just investments, but a financial plan designed especially for you. When it comes to your money, let us help you do the worrying. IDS, we help people manage money.
There's the time remaining here at Busch Memorial Stadium in St. Louis. 1:25. Bears have 1 timeout left. Cardinals have 2. Cardinals have a 2nd and 9 of coming from their 16-yard line, and the Bears need the football desperately. They trail by 3. Jerry Latin going outside. Upended, but he hung out of the ball at the 18-yard line after a pickup of 2 yards. It'll be 3rd down, 7. And again, the Bears stop it. Gary Fensick making the tackle. So according to our calculations now, the Bears are out of timeouts. Take a look at it again as Latin takes the handoff, heads right, then cuts back upfield, and watch him get turned upside down as he is submarined by Gary Fensick.
Keep on doing that till I get it right. Yeah, I work hard and I play hard, and I use new STP gas treatment. You just pump it in your tank and it goes to work cleaning your carburetor. I take good care of my wheels on account of I'm cheap. I bet you are too. Try it.
Final 1 minute and 16 seconds here in St. Louis. Cardinals go on to win this, of course, and will even their season record at 1 win and 1 loss. And no one is leaving. But obviously, this has been a tight one. Cardinals led at halftime 13-3 and moved it up to 16-3 in the 3rd period. But then the Bears came back with a field goal and the touchdown and the pass from Abellini to Latta. And that's where we are right now. 16-13. Cardinals by 3 points. Bears lose it, of course. There'll be a logjam at top of the standings after the 2nd week in the NFC Central. Minnesota will be at 1-1. Detroit will be at 1-1. If the Packers, well, it depends on what the Packers do. If they lose, they'll be 1-1. Here's Hart. Boy, I tell you, 3rd down, 7. You wonder why he put it up in the air anyway. Ike Harris was the intended receiver. Of course, Hart's got a lot of confidence in that ability, but the crowd collectively held their breath since he has been intercepted twice here in the last quarter. But you'll notice he went to the other side. He stayed away from Allen Ellis. Now Joyce comes on to do the punting, and he has not had a good afternoon. Terry Joyce has had just 2 punts, both in the 2nd half, and has averaged 37.5 yards per kick. So a short kick here, and there'll still be time for the Bears to get into at least field goal range and possibly send it into sudden death. Steve Schubert is deep. 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they rush. Kick is short, bounces at the 45. Schubert fields it at the Bear 45, and he is down immediately. Schubert might have hesitated just a second on the short kick. Had he run up on it, he probably could have fielded it 7 or 8 yards further downfield, but he wanted to be safe and be sure. Pretty good field position for the Bears, certainly. They got 1:05, but keep in mind, they don't have any timeouts left. So they have a 1st down at their 46-yard line. They need to get into field goal range to send it into sudden death. So the pressure again on the Bear defense. Abellini back to throw it. Big rush. Tries to get the screen out. It's tipped up. Almost intercepted. Bob Bell, number 79, almost did it all by himself. He tipped it, and then he almost intercepted it. Big rush by Mike Dawson forced Abellini to perhaps dump it faster than he wanted to. 2nd and 10. 58 seconds left, trying to set up the screen. Dawson in there quickly with the hands up. They tried to get it out to Walter Payton, and Payton struggling over there with Bell for the football. The ball falls harmlessly. On 2nd and 10, we get a marker down. Pass is completed to Harper, but I believe Schubert, the wide receiver, came off the line of scrimmage before the snap. So the penalty, I think, will go against Chicago. Let's see if that was the case. Illegal motion against the Bears, yes. Final score, the Chargers beat Kansas City 23-7. Bears with no timeouts left, and they'll be penalized 5 yards. As Schubert took off just a split second before the snap.
Illegal motion. 85. Second down.
85 is Steve Schubert, the flanker. Jack Pardee. Second down. Bears need 15 for the first down. They're back at their 41. 52 seconds left to play, and Chicago with no timeouts. Standard four-man rush over the middle, intended for James Scott at the 50-yard line, overthrown. Once again, a good rush by Mike Dawson, the second-year man, who is the Cardinals' #1 draft choice. Take a look at James Scott, the Bear wide receiver, on that last play. He makes his cut to the inside. The pass is high. He goes up as high as he can, but the pass is simply overthrown. John Zook has come into the ball game now for the Cardinals, making his first appearance. As we said, he's their best pass rusher, but he's been troubled by a knee injury. Third down, 15 yards for the first down. 47 seconds left. Avellini needs to pick up that first down. He's got Scott at the 40, 35, and down to the 33. But there are no timeouts left, and the Bears signaling for their teammates to get down there. You see the clock moving along. Here's his pattern. He broke wide open as he got away from Severson. Now the Bears up to the line of scrimmage. First down from the 34-yard line. Avellini throws it out of bounds to stop the clock with 19 seconds to go. Well, let's do a little figuring here. The line of scrimmage is the 33. If they have to settle for a field goal from here, it would be just about a 50-yard shot. And that obviously is not Thomas' best distance. In fact, he was just 5 out of 16, 31% on field goals on 40 yards or better last season. So the Bears really needed to get about 10 yards or so closer to give him a respectable shot at a field goal, which could send it into sudden death. Second down, 10. Bears at the Cardinal 34, Chicago with no timeouts left. They have to go at the sideline. Payton at the 30. He's got to get out of bounds. He's at the 29. I doubt if they'll get another playoff because he didn't get out of bounds. You see the clock ticking away. Now the officials calling timeout with 5 seconds to go, saying that the Cardinals were slow in lining up. Now they wind the clock down. They'll get a shot at one more play if they get it off quickly. Avellini throws it out of bounds. There is no time left. That's it. The game is over. And the St. Louis Cardinals have beaten the Chicago Bears 16-13, but not before getting the scare of their life, as the Bears just didn't give up, kept coming back, and it looked like they might have a shot at tying it. So that's it. From St. Louis, this is Frank Lieber, along with Johnny Morris, saying so long from St. Louis. Our final score, the Cardinals 16 and the Bears 13. Now let's go to Brent Musburger at CBS Sports Control in New York.
All right, Frank, thank you very much. What a wild ending to that ball game. Irv, that left tackle, if he'd have been set, maybe Avellini could have stopped the clock and gotten in one more play.
See, your time is so important in that situation. Get the ball, throw it out of bounds, stop the clock, and then line up. And they just couldn't quite do it.
Let's catch everyone up to date on the scores. Star Wars, Oakland, and Pittsburgh. The Raiders have kicked a field goal. They were down there within striking distance, and the Steelers made them settle for 3 points. Miami and San Francisco underway, and the 49ers, on the strength of a field goal, have taken a 9-7 lead on Miami. O.J. Simpson is playing today. His leg is all right. Denver has just regained the lead in that game. They were trailing 6-3. Right now it is 10-6. Broncos are ahead. Los Angeles, behind a touchdown pass thrown by Joe Namath, has taken a 7-point lead on the Philadelphia Eagles in the second quarter. Now we come to final scores. San Diego, led by Harris at quarterback, dumps Kansas City 23-7. Chargers are now 1-1. Another final just in. Houston beats Green Bay 16-10. It was a 95-yard interception on a Lynn Dickey pass that turned that game around late in the fourth quarter. The New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys not yet over, and I see that Dallas has just put up 7 more, 41-21. It was 28-0 at one point. Giants rallied. That game still in the fourth quarter. And, of course, that wild contest you just saw concluded in St. Louis, 16-13, the Cardinals down the Bears. What a fine football game that was. Cincinnati 42, Seattle 20, so the Bengals rack up 42 points after losing last week to the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore has no trouble at all, beating the New York Jets over in New Jersey. The New York Giants home field because Shea Stadium not available. 20-12 the final in that game. New Orleans loses to Detroit. Again, the Saints were trying to come back in the fourth quarter. They simply ran out of time. And the Washington Redskins held off the tough Atlanta Falcons. Beware of Atlanta. The defense is excellent. And in case you have not heard, of course, last night, Minnesota dumped Tampa Bay 9-3. So in the NFC Central, Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit, and Minnesota now all tied with one loss record, 1 victory and 1 defeat. Chicago next week, they will host New Orleans. Meanwhile, St. Louis will play Washington. And the NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.